Did you have an issue with your social media?
You're outspoken, you get censored. Only the poor people are fighting.
I think it's impossible to escape censorship.
There's only one religion, and for these people, that one religion is money.
Sulek became a big sensation.
I have respect for him.
Are you done with competitive bodybuilding? Are you going to compete again?
Yeah, I want to compete in the Masters Olympia. I want to give it one more good go. That's been on my mind. So that's what my goal is, to do that. And like I said to you, at the moment, I've been working more behind the scenes, working more on myself. Like I said to you, like last couple of years, I had some shoulder irritation, cartilage growing in my, like the cartilage was worn away in my shoulders, and I couldn't train properly. So I was going to compete in the Masters Olympia when they did it last. So like at the moment, so what happened was I went through that scenario of prolonging the shoulder, repair, and because people, bodybuilders don't want a shoulder replacement, that's the last thing they want. They think it's the worst thing what's going to happen. And I was in pain. I couldn't move my shoulder. I couldn't do the exercise properly what I wanted to do. And, I kept on getting the shoulder cleaned out and thinking, oh, yeah, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. But, the problem you got, Vlad, once that cartilage is gone, it's bone and bone grinding all the time. And it's not going to get any better. So, what happened was one day I was at a seminar and I was talking to this young kid who was 20 years old, and we were just talking about, my leg injury, and he was saying to me, he goes, oh, I've had both of my shoulders done. I went, what? You're only 20? He goes, yeah, it's in my family. We got a bone disorder where, osteoporosis, like my father had arthritis at the age of 25 and stuff like this. So because I was trained boxing at a young age, my shoulders, cartilage went away. I was in so much pain, and I didn't want to get my shoulders done because I thought, my God, I'm finished now. You know what I mean? And I put it off, and then obviously I was in so much pain. He goes, I had it done, and I said to him, so what? He goes, listen, it's the best thing I ever did. I go, what? Really? He goes, yeah. He goes, it's made my life so much better. I can train again now. Don't get me wrong. I won't go back into the gym to break records and stuff. But look at the size of me like now. He goes, and I go, I wouldn't even know you had a shoulder replacement. He goes, yeah. He goes, thank God I did it. And I was telling him about my situation. He goes to me, get it done. And you know what? So I took fucking, by and I had it done. And I wish I fucking had it done sooner, because now my shoulder is so good. It feels like I've got a brand new shoulder, lad. And I wish I did it sooner.
That's amazing. Now, to me, you have amazing personality. Like, you are great for content, in my opinion, outside of bodybuilding, or in the bodybuilding world, rather. Yeah. But it seems like you reappear and disappear. You know what I mean? Like, did you have an issue with your social media because you were very outspoken? And did you have like problems with censorship?
The thing about it is, Vlad, you got to remember, in this world, you're outspoken, you get censored. And because I'm on their radar now, believe it or not, if I said certain words there, if I said boy, spelled in a certain way,
I remember that.
My post get taken off. Do you know what I mean? Even if I said that, because at the moment we're living in harsh times, and there's a great war going on, and the great war is going on with race, color, gender, and this is the way people are trying to separate us and try to make the poor people fight. Only the poor people are fighting. The rich people are fighting. Look at the rich people: Saudi Arabia, Muslim; Israel, Jewish; America, Christian. All of them are happy, talking to each other on the table. It's us, the stupid poor people, who are fighting amongst one another. What for? What for? Once we realize that we have all got one common enemy, and that's the 1% who are sat on the top controlling the rest. Why do you think it's so easy for them to control us? Because look what happened when it was the lockdown in COVID. They will use this tool there against us dumb people here, and we will fight amongst each other and not even ask questions like, why are they? In this world, Vlad, the thing is, there's only one religion, and for these people, that one religion is money. It speaks every language, you know, and that's the problem. It's like when I see what's going on in the Middle East, and I see what's happening for whatever race and religion. You know what I mean? You can't punish everybody as bad or good, because if we were like that, Vlad, we will be only sticking around with our own kind of people. You know what I mean? And that's what we always say to people: go, if you want to know what people are like, I wish the world would more run like the bodybuilding community. Every race, every color, every creed, doesn't matter if you're good looking, ugly, whatever, you've got a common ground. You want to improve yourself, Vlad. And this is the real world. This is the real community. People need to forget what they see on the news. This is all brainwashing us to hate one another. This is what they want. This is what makes them happy. Do you know what I mean? This is what makes them happy. It doesn't matter, you know, whether, whoever wins in politics, because end of the day, we lose in politics.
Sure, sure. Now you in UK, obviously, right? And
Yeah.
there was recent big thing there, right? From what I understand, you can explain to me more. Censorship, especially on Twitter, right? When the government said they're gonna actually start putting people in jail for posting stuff like that. You in UK, how did you feel about that new? And is it actually in place? Are people actually getting arrested for this?
It's like this, blood. You've got to remember, if you're gonna say to somebody on over Twitter, I'm gonna I'm gonna come down and burn your house down and kill your family. Of course they're gonna take that serious. Do you know what I'm saying? The police is gonna take that serious. If you're gonna say you're gonna do something and threaten somebody, yes, they are gonna take that serious. But you gotta remember there's a group of people what are using certain scenarios there and they don't tell you the truth about everything, and then you think it's happening everywhere. Yes, don't get me wrong, freedom of speech is not only in the UK was censored, it's censored on Twitter, just with Elon Musk. If there's certain things he doesn't like you saying, he will censor them. You know what I mean? That's the problem. We talk about censorship and from the government to the social media to your parents. It's all a matter about who's in charge. And they will, if they don't like your opinion, they will censor you. Like, why can't we, why can't we be happy, if we don't like somebody's opinion, don't follow them. Why do we need to censor somebody? Why do we need to, basically report somebody? I've chosen to go out of my way to follow you, Vlad, and you've said something what I don't like, so I'm going to report you to Twitter or Instagram and say, you posted something and it's hurt my feelings. Like, come on, wake the up, innit? You know what I mean? Like, you haven't told me to come to my page. It's like you coming, it's basically, it's like somebody coming, to my house, me inviting you to my house, Vlad, and I said to you, oh yeah, you want a cup of tea or a coffee? You say, I want a coffee. You say, no, you're having a cup of tea because it's my house. But then you start, you know what I mean, having an uproar about it and say, oh, I'm not having that, I'm reporting you. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. I think, now that I think about what you're saying, I think it's impossible to escape censorship. It doesn't matter what country in the world you go to, even, you will be somewhat censored by somebody. It doesn't matter. So I agree with you.
Vlad, no matter where you go, you're going to get censored, whether you like it or not. The problem you've got is the people who have got the most power at this moment in time. Elon Musk has got the power. Why do you think Donald Trump has brought him on board with him?
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? He's not stupid. You get the people on board with you who are going to help you and who are going to get your word heard. Do you know what I mean? Like you're in this situation, you interview all bodybuilders, you got a good platform, you got a good following. You're not going to hinder that by only interviewing certain people, only talking to certain people. You want to be talking to the mainstream people out there, not just bodybuilding, because you don't want to just attract bodybuilding. You want to attract the full fitness industry, whether it comes from people who are stupid enough to inject simple into them, being influencers, being, CrossFit, being whatever, part of the fitness industry. You don't want to turn your back on any type of story. You want to get people's take on things. How do people look at bodybuilders? How do people, perceive us?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So let's talk about social media, for example. For instance, I know you kind of always had a love-hate relationship with social media influencers in the fitness space.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I don't know how you feel about Sam Sulek, for example, right? Sam Sulek became a big sensation over a year span.
Yeah.
He's a young kid in college, right? But he became super popular to the point where I think everybody in bodybuilding actually follows him and knows about him, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't compete obviously yet, but I think he might. But regardless of that, do you think he's good or bad for bodybuilding?
Listen, anybody, who's at that age, a young lad who goes to university, he's got his head screwed on straight, he's politely spoken, he doesn't act like a douchebag, he doesn't talk like a gangster, he doesn't put on an act. Anybody who can be their self there and be in their own skin, I have respect for him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Listen, he's a young lad. We've all been there before. Love training. I was writing myself, at university. All I cared about was my meals, calories, what I could get down me. And, the food wasn't great. You ate what you had to eat because you're on a budget, whatever. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is, but the problem, the thing is with Sam, he needs to realize that not every kid his age has got his genetics and has got his health. So if people are listening to him, he has to have, the authority to say to these kids his age, go, listen, I'm taking drugs, but this is what I'm doing to mitigate it. You can't be eating shit like me, what you see all the time, because this is not what I do all the time, if it's the case. Like, when you see bodybuilders, all of a sudden, 4 to 10 calorie day of day of their food. And people, there's some dumb people out there thinking, I have to eat like that all the time. It's unhealthy. There's so much chemicals in them food. It's not going to be no good for you. The problem you've got is there are people out there who are not intellectual enough to know this is all done for social media hype. Mm-hmm. This is not done on a daily occurrence. On a daily occurrence, you have to eat good, you have to eat clean, you have to look after your health, you've got to drink the water, you have to do everything properly. If you want to be in the sport the long term, you know what I mean? So it's like he should have, he's got a responsibility to tell these young kids, yes, I'm taking drugs. Yes, I'm eating bad. Yes, I'm doing this. But look at these are my health markers. Check them out. See, I do other things as well. I do cardio as well. I do all these other things. You know what I mean?
Do you believe that UK food is actually way cleaner and better for you than in America?
You just gotta ask yourself one thing is when the pharmaceutical companies are in charge of your health, Iran, the world's gonna attack you guys. God damn, what's going on here?